What's going on, guys? Sam Adams here, and welcome to another episode of The Drop. And this week we have a couple of good games coming out, including the biggest baseball game that's out there that is by far the most popular in the public eye. But on top of that, we have a couple of interesting games that are definitely worth mentioning. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Kicking things off this week, we have MLB The Show 17 coming to the PlayStation 4, and of course, the Show franchise has always been a PlayStation exclusive, so it's no surprise that it's continuing that trend this year. But MLB The Show 17 delivers the most realistic and personal baseball gaming experience on consoles. This year, the show offers exciting gameplay improvements and a greater ability to personalize your baseball experience. Road to the Show, take complete control in our RPG mode with new opportunities to make decisions off and on the field that change the path of your career. Retro Mode, a retro sim-inspired gameplay experience that pays homage to the classic baseball games many of us grew up on. New ways to play. Now with new managerial and gameplay options that provide different levels of acceleration to progress your franchise while maintaining the control that you want to. Year-to-year saves. No need to start over your Road to the Show career or franchise from 16 when you can bring them into the Show 17 with year-to-year saves. Your saves in 17 will carry over to 18, so play without worry of losing your progress, which is a fantastic feature to have in the game. It's so easy to love MLB The Show 17 with so many different ways to play with its new modes, missions, and more opportunity for individuality than ever. So let's start off by talking about the franchise itself rather than just the individual game. As a franchise, MLB The Show has pretty much single-handedly become the dominant baseball experience. Now, there are several out there that are kind of lesser known, but for the most part, if you are a baseball fan and you want a baseball video game, then you better be a PlayStation 4 user and you better buy The Show, because that's pretty much the best and relatively the only option out there. The Show was competing with the 2K franchise directly for a couple of years there, but eventually the Show just kind of came out on top, and there really wasn't any reason to continue making the 2K games, and that's kind of unfortunate because competition is always healthy and it keeps pushing the game forward. Not saying that the developers over at the Show aren't pushing the game to its boundaries, but you know, some healthy competition is always welcome in my opinion. Now, that being said, the best feature from the entire franchise has made its return in 17, and that is the fact that you can bring your saves over from a previous game, and also when you make more progress in MLB The Show 17, you can carry that on over to 18, meaning that you don't necessarily, as the description said, have to start over every year, which is fantastic, especially considering the nature of a baseball game where you make a lot of progress, and so to completely have all of that decimated and kind of deemed worthless is a little bit... that's not good. Now, of course, we went over a lot of the other features, so you've pretty much made your decision by now if you're going to buy this or not, and to be honest with you, I won't. I'm not a fan of sports, not a big baseball guy in general. If I do watch a sport, it's probably going to be the Super Bowl, maybe some tennis. I don't like sports. Moving right along to Vikings Wolves of Midgard, coming to the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and to the PC. Fear the wolves, especially in the winter. They are cold, they are hungry, and they will stop at nothing to survive. Legend has it that when the coldest winter descends, the Jotun giants of the Outdards will take their vengeance against the gods of Asgard, thus heralding the start of Ragnarok, the war to end all things. But when the Jotun begin to unite the fire and frost giants under the flag, they cross paths with an outcast clan of Vikings called the Ulfung, the Wolf Clan. This marks the point in time when the fate of the gods and all of Midgard fell into the hands of one mere mortal. Enter the shores of Midgard, a world based upon the mythology and history of the Vikings, but with a fantasy twist. Battle fearsome giants, terrifying barrow knights, and the dark creatures that lurk in the shadows as you strive to survive the growing cold that threatens to end all life forever. Master mighty weapons including the sword and shield, two-handed hammers, dual-wield axes, ooh, that sounds cool, and swift bows to unlock fearsome battle powers. Earn blood in battle to offer to tribute to the gods in order to acquire and enhance devastating spell powers, as well as unlocking intriguing gifts. The world is ending, and it's your destiny to prevent the imminent destruction that Ragnarok brings to the worlds of gods and men. Okay, so with this one, it's actually described as an action RPG, but really, if you want to get down to what the gameplay is like, it's a hack and slash dungeon crawler at its very core nature. With that in mind, I will say that there are enough mechanics to keep the gameplay kind of fresh, but you are definitely going to be smashing a lot of buttons. But don't kind of classify this one as a button masher, more so you're figuring out what your best kind of attack is, and you're going to be using that repeatedly, and then you're going to incorporate a couple of little gameplay mechanics in there if you have to heal or if you have to use a certain special special ability, things along those lines. So it's not going to be boring, it's just going to be where you learn what you do and you just continue to do it over and over and over and over. Now, as for me, I never heard of this game before, but after watching some gameplay, after reading some descriptions and what people have been saying about it, it does show promise as a largely unknown action RPG slash, as I describe it, hack and slash dungeon crawler. So if you are interested in checking this one out, I would definitely give it a look, but it's not going to be one of those ones where it's like, I need to buy this today, let's go to GameStop right now, get the car keys, we need to go. So moving along to Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 plus 2.5 Remix is an HD remaster collection of 6 unforgettable Kingdom Hearts experiences in one disc, available for the first time on the PlayStation 4. The HD collection features Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts 358 Days that divided by 2 HD remastered cinematics, Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts Recoded HD remastered cinematic. That's the description. I'm feeling a rant. The names, my god, for any kind of new player that's just coming into the Kingdom Hearts franchise, this would be a fantastic piece to add to the gaming collection because it does have 6 of the previously released Kingdom Hearts games with remastered cinematics and touched up graphics and things like that. So if you are jumping in for the first time, this gives you a good bit of the backstory. That being said, if you look at this in the GameStop store, you know, just looking at it through the shelf, number one, it's called Kingdom, what's the official name? Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 plus 2.5 Remix. That tells me nothing. Why not just call it Kingdom Hearts Mini Collection, Kingdom Hearts Collection, Kingdom Hearts Remastered, whatever it may be. Just come up with a better name than that. Kingdom Hearts 6-part collection, perfect. Put that on the box, you will sell more. Of course, I don't know what kind of audience they're trying to get from this thing because, you know, fans of Kingdom Hearts are probably going to end up buying this because they know what's in it, but for the people like me that aren't really into that kind of thing, I don't even know what to expect aside from reading this description that has more confusing names that I don't really understand, so you're kind of alienating me and just focusing on an audience that's already been there and will always be there, so you're still going to make your money either way. It doesn't really matter. But, you know, it would be nice to be a little bit more open to a new audience. Anyways, like I said, Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out, so if you are interested in re-experiencing some of these lesser-known titles that aren't necessarily Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, then you might be interested in checking out this one that's coming to the PlayStation 4, includes 6 games, and so you're definitely getting a lot of bang for your buck with that one. Next up, we've got Has Been Heroes coming to the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, the Nintendo Switch, and the PC. Has Been Heroes is a roguelike action game featuring a band of heroes on a quest to escort the king's twin princess to Magic Academy. The game, so you're taking someone to school, the game combines strategy and action into a mix where you control 3 characters and focus on combining spells and items for devastating combo effects. Couple of bullet points. I know this is really long, but each run is unique with random encounters, spell and item drops, as well as regions. The game features 200 items and 100 spells to unlock. Only a fraction of these are available in the first run, and obtaining new items and spells is a game changer for the player. Death in Has Been Heroes is a common occurrence and permanent, and the player has to start over. However, death comes bearing gifts, literally. Over 100 hours of gameplay. Has Been Heroes has a story that keeps on growing as the player plays and completes the game. New story layers are added with each playthrough, and 2D art style with visually stunning spell effects. That was quite the description. Okay, so with Has Been Heroes, the strategy itself is kind of like Plants vs. Zombies, in my opinion, where you have to keep up with different rows of characters, and you kind of keep up with what each one is doing throughout the course of the gameplay. So if you were into that kind of strategy game, then you might enjoy this one, but taking that into account, it is a bit different because of the roguelike nature of the game, where you do pick up different weapons, you do have different spells, and each character has different kinds of attacks and vulnerabilities and things like that, so you do get a good variety during your gameplay time. Speaking of gameplay time, the developers did mention you can get up to 100 hours of gameplay out of this game, and of course there are 200 items, over 100 spells and things like that, so there's a lot of game here to experience, and considering it is not a full price $60 game, then you are definitely getting your bang for your buck with Has Been Heroes. So what I'm trying to say here is, after a long day of work or school, if you want to come home and have a nice kind of relaxing but still enough tension to keep you interested strategy experience, then you might want to check out Has Been Heroes, especially if you have a Nintendo Switch and have gotten tired of Zelda. But if we're being realistic here, what is the chance that you have a Nintendo Switch and you've gotten tired of Zelda? Next up, we've got some Dark Souls 3 DLC by the name of The Ringed City, which is coming, as you would guess, to everywhere that Dark Souls 3 is available. Fear not the dark, Ashen One. The Ringed City is the final DLC pack for Dark Souls 3, an award-winning, genre-defining Golden Joystick Award 2016 Game of the Year RPG. Journey to the world's end to search for the Ringed City and encounter new lands, new bosses, new enemies, and with new magic, armor, and items. Experience the epic final chapter of a dark world that can only be created by the mind of Hidetaka Miyazaki. A new world, one last journey. Okay, so this is the final DLC for Dark Souls 3. If you want to come back for one more beating, it's going to run you $15, which is not that bad for a DLC, and you can relatively find the game at a pretty cheap price now, depending on where you look. So if you are interested in this, then you can definitely pick it up this week. But on top of that, we have a good rumor that Bloodborne 2 is going to be at E3, so expect some more coverage on that. And I would definitely recommend playing the Dark Souls 3 DLC if you just can't wait to see what's going on with a potential Bloodborne sequel if the rumors are true. Snake Pass is coming to the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch, which is in stark contrast to Dark Souls 3. Think like a snake when the tranquility of Heaven Tour is interrupted. Is this the right description? Interrupted by a mysterious interloper. Only the unlikeliest of heroes can save the day. Meet Noodle the Snake and his hyperactive best friend Doodle the Hummingbird, who together must reunite the missing keystones with the magical gates that give Heaven Tour its mythical power. Unique physics-based puzzle platform game, Snake Pass challenges players to think like a snake as they tackle precarious puzzles as only a snake can, slither through long grass, coil around bamboo, and climb out of trouble in the latest game from award-winning independent studio Sumo Digital. Master Noodle's one-of-kind abilities unravel the mystery of the nefarious gatecatcher, restore Heaven Tour to its former glory, slither into every nook and cranny in search of cunning collectibles, a brand new soundtrack from a fan-favorite composer, David Wise. Okay, so pretty much this game is where you solve puzzles based on physics as Noodle the Snake. Now, it does sound very childish, I will admit. I'll be the first one to come out and say that, though I have seen, and I have heard a lot of reports, that the physics engine in this game is absolutely breathtaking. Now, of course, the graphics themselves are pretty cartoony. The gameplay itself, I mean, you're playing as Noodle the Snake, what can you expect here? But the physics themselves, you should definitely give this one a look. Not saying go out and buy it, I'm just saying check out some gameplay, watch some streams. It's a pretty cool little game. Also, there's something about how real the snake's movements are that is... it's just mildly unsettling for me. Next up, we've got Shyness the Lightning Kingdom coming to the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the PC. Shyness is an action RPG developed by indie studio Inagami, promising to take you on a journey through an enthralling universe on the verge of collapse following the fragmentation of planet Mahara. Play as Chato and his companions traveling through the Celestial Islands on their flying ship. After crash landing on one of the most hostile of the Celestial Islands, you find yourself in the middle of a conflict across multiple kingdoms. However, this volatile situation might find a peaceful outcome with Chato's newfound unique ability to perceive and communicate with the Shyness, a mysterious spirit imbued with magic. I have no comment. This is not my thing. No. But hey, you might be into it. And finally, last but not least, we have Earthfall coming to the PC, the PlayStation 4, and the Xbox One. This one's been on my radar for a while. The end of the world is here. Emerging from the devastation of a global meteor strike, aliens swarm the landscape and ravage the planet. Every day, people must stand together and fight back with a wide variety of weapons, supplies, and defenses as they battle through the towns and wilderness of the Pacific Northwest. Coming to Steam Early Access in early 2017, as it did, and later to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, as it is this week, Earthfall is a cooperative shooter for up to 4 players using a team-based coming to Steam Early Access in 2017, as it already has, and later to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, as it is this week. Earthfall is a cooperative shooter for up to 4 players using team-based tactics to fortify holdouts and complete objectives. Players must work together to survive Earthfall. Okay, so if you liked Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2, this is the same kind of experience, but it's coming with aliens instead of zombies. So if you have a group of people that you play with on a weekly or daily basis, then this is going to be a fantastic game because you already have that squad. But if you play solo, you might want to go online to some forums, maybe online to Twitter or something. Try and round up some friends to play Earthfall, because I don't think you're going to be getting the full experience if you try and run it solo. Now, this game is developed by an indie studio by the name of HoloSpark, which was actually established back in 2015, and this is their first big release as far as I can tell. So this is a pretty big one for them, and normally an indie FPS is kind of a, it's either a hit or a miss, because it's very hard to penetrate that section of the gaming industry, because you have so many already popular and already widespread first-person shooters. But with Earthfall, there is plenty of potential here, and of the gameplay I've seen, it doesn't look to be that bad. It doesn't really look like an indie game. It could actually turn out to be a pretty cool experience for fans of that team-based tactics kind of first-person shooter. So there you guys have it. I hope you have enjoyed this edition of The Drop. If you did, drop me a like down below and let me know what new games that are coming out this week that you are looking forward to. If there is anything out there, will you be playing Earthfall? Are you a fan of Kingdom Hearts and you have no problem with the way they name their titles? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you happen to be new to my channel, I do upload new stuff throughout the week, so there is always something new right here on the channel when you do drop by to watch some videos. But as for right now, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching this particular video. I will talk to you soon. Peace.